This piece is entitled Church. People have always complimented me on how well I speak. From as far back as I can remember, I was always asked to read something. In preschool, I was given the job of welcoming everyone to the graduation ceremony. Too bad I couldn't say welcome. I was so scared to speak because I knew I couldn't say the word and I wanted to be perfect. Instead of saying, welcome, 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 I said, welcome, welcome, welcome. Even though I completely botched the word, everyone clapped for me, and my loud, proud mother yelled, "That's my baby." After that, I have always been asked to speak, even for things I didn't want to do. No matter what the occasion was, I always made the other parents look at their kids in the room and say, "You see her? You hear how she talks so well? Talk like her." I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but damn it, I was good, and I knew I was good. Y'all see today. I was asked to read in church one Sunday morning, but I hated reading in church. As a kid, the words in the Bible were pretty damn hard. I was always afraid of calling Bathsheba Brenda or Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego Shadrach, Meshach, and a Billy Goat. Needless to say, I had to read. But this Sunday, I was nervous, and I was shaking like a stripper on her first night. I remember walking up to the altar with my head down. I figured if I looked hurt, I wouldn't have to read. It didn't work. The excerpt that I had to read that Sunday was pretty long. I got to the altar and was silently begging God to make the power go out. Of course it didn't. I took my bow in front of the altar and turned to the microphone. I looked at that microphone and I swear it was taunting me. "You can't read." I grabbed that microphone with the vengeance, then I lowered it so it was near my mouth. I couldn't see much, but I saw my mother in the distance who mouthed to me, "I'm right here." My grandfather was there too, beaming because his granddaughter was getting ready to read. Second lesson, taken from the book of Ephesians. Whew, I got it out. I worked on Ephesians all week before I could get it right. I unfolded my paper and I started to read. I took a breath at commas and silently tapped my church shoes twice for a period. Then I began the second paragraph. I was really doing it, I thought. In the midst of reading, somebody's phone rang, and I got so nervous that I lost my place. I was so scared and embarrassed, and I tried to keep going, but my voice began to crack like potato chips from the dollar store, and I started crying like hard. The tears were running track down my face. I stood as if I was in a trance. A member of the choir grabbed me and hugged me tight, and then I heard this roaring voice. I thought it was God telling me I was going to hell for not being able to read in church, but it was just my mommy. She came from the back of the church and read where I left off. Walking and reading at the same time, she reached out her hand to me. I grabbed it and stood next to her. She looked down at me in admiration. How could she be smiling at me? I didn't even finish. When she got to the end of the reading, she motioned for me to come to the microphone. Was she serious? Did she not just see what happened? I mean, really. She whispered to me, "I'm right here." Clearing my throat, I reached for the microphone yet again and said what everyone says when they're finished reading. "The word of the Lord." The church replied, "Thanks be to God." My mom told me how proud of me she was. My granddad even gave me a high five. How could they be proud of me? I wasn't perfect. My mom told me after church, never strive to be perfect, because perfect people don't need God.